Morning. Let's start this. Okay, I don't have slides, but I do have a video that's going to play while I talk. So I think I spoke here 2 years ago where I discussed the dealing with managing WordStar profiles from really old legacy media. Today we're going to move it forward about 15 years and look at Adobe Photoshop's proprietary format, the PSD file. So the video behind me is titled Reading O.C. Clarke, and it was created by the artist Jeremy Blake, who tragically passed away in 2007. Blake was born in 1971. He was a pioneering digital artist and most well known for what he termed time-based paintings. His work, which often was in the form of DVD installations, was exhibited internationally at major museums, including the Museum of Modern Art. His work, while having been created digitally, gave the impression of being hand-painted or drawn or photographed. His complex digital processing techniques allowed the forms and the objects in his work to slowly shift from one another, creating a dreamlike and often hallucinatory motions, as we can see in the work being shown here. O.C. Clarke was a British fashion designer associated with London in the late 60s. So this work was designed to evoke kind of his personality and the way that he lived. So Blake's most well-known work, the Winchester Trilogy, was long-form and often abstract meditation on the Winchester Mystery House. The work combined still images, 8mm film, and photographs of the house, the Winchester House, with Blake's abstract imagery and images from well-known American Westerns. Blake commented on the work in the New York Times article in 2005 and stated that, "I'm using the tools available today, the fluidity of information rushing in every direction, and the way we process it, it defines our culture now. And Sarah Winchester interested me because the jumbled free flow of the house she built seemed to be like the architectural metaphor, a 3D symbol for that fluidity." In addition to the fine art that he produced, Blake also achieved mainstream and commercial success. He was an art director at Rockstar Games who worked on both Grand Theft Auto 2 and 4, and according to some sources, designed their ever-present R and Star logo. He created abstract dream sequences that were featured prominently in Paul Thomas Anderson's critically lauded Punch Drunk Love, and produced artwork for Beck's 2002 album Sea Change, the cover artwork. While Blake was primarily known for his video work, his work was not technically video. Having spent years retouching photographs in magazines, Blake gained expertise in Adobe's ubiquitous photo editing software, Photoshop. In Photoshop, Blake created his work by collaging together the many sources that he worked with into dense images. Exploiting Photoshop's layering functionality, Blake would make slight adjustments to individual elements in the layers to create fluid and morphing qualities that we see in his work. His work would further be processed using Adobe's After Effects, a video compositing and effects platform, and finally in Avid, in collaboration with video and sound artists to create the final videos. Photoshop's file format, the PSD, exhibits and illustrates many of the problems that we face in collecting and managing born digital archives. It's a proprietary format that's been somewhat documented and somewhat reverse engineered, but it is in no way stable enough to be considered worthy of preservation. While Adobe has an excellent track record of ensuring backwards compatibility with the format, with each successive release of the software, it's been modified to support new features and functionality. Unfortunately, at present, there's few options for preserving the functionality of the format. So this morning, Julia Kim, who's sitting here in front, a 2014 National Digital Stewardship resident, and myself will present our case study on how NYU is approaching the curation, preservation of the Photoshop files that comprise the main body of Jeremy Blake's archives and art. Right now, we have about 4,000 unique Photoshop files in the collection. In the 7 or 8 years that he was generating his content, he really was able to generate a massive amount. Across those archives, we're probably up around 10 or 11,000, but with lots of duplication. And we'll also look at some of the tools and techniques that we're looking at to provide access to these complex files. Thanks. Like the video.